It didn't always. To even glimpse of the sun's true beauty is impossible. Since near the beginning of time she has hidden herself from all. She shrouds herself in a haze. She does this out of heartache, for she is a guilt-ridden spirit. Only once has he removed that veil and allowed one to stare in all her flourishing flares. He never failed to watch her enter, and never let himself miss her leave. She spent her journey through the sky speaking and laughing with him all through the day. He spent little time for himself and seemed to live to see her wake. They soon found themselves in love. One day, he looked to a cloud in front of her and asked, "My love, I cannot look at you for more than a few seconds before I'm forced to look away. Could it be perhaps your beauty is so great it's blinding?" The sun laughed, amused by his flattering words. She said thoughtfully, "If I'm being honest, my dear, I've never shown my full beauty to anyone. I seem to have always worn this coat, I've never the need to take it off, you see." He sat down on a warm stone. "Love, your very presence sends warmth along my skin. One look at you imprints light and splendor everywhere I turn. I love you more than the water I drink, more than the air I breathe, more than the feel of my heart beating. If there's one thing I wish for in this world, it's to lay my eyes on you all through the day, and see everything that you are." The very sun was starstruck. His words took her to a world where logic was silly and the heart was condemning. She told him if he really wished to see her, he would wait till the morning when she wakes. Her heart pounded at the wondrous feeling of love. Her anticipation continued to mount as she counted the seconds she could rise again and make him happy. When she rose, he was waiting. Her light fell upon him and he smiled back with an equal brightness. They spoke of how they missed each other through the night, barely able to sleep while they thought of how they would soon see each other the next day. "Are you still going to show me what you look like without that blurry shade over you?" he asked with a smile. She blushed and giggled, not able to contain her happiness around him. "I suppose you have waited all this time. I'm afraid I love you too much to disappoint you, my dear." His gaze took to the sky as he focused on her intently, wanting to see the exact moment she grew brighter. Wanting to see how much more beautiful she could possibly be. For a second she felt afraid. Worried, that maybe she is not what he expected. She peeked out from behind the horizon where she hid. His voice was soft as he spoke. "Oh love, you can't be afraid of anything when it comes to me. Don't you know how much you fill my chest? How much my eyes need you in their sight? Oh please, don't hide from me." The bright feeling of her love for him washed the fear away. It moved her, and she slipped neatly out of the coat. Her rays extended toward him and enveloped his body and heart. It wrapped him in a warmth at the very speed of light. He was instantly hypnotized. She captured his soul with her very beauty. His eyes yearned to see every ray of light she emitted. It pained him to even blink his eyes and be left without her light for that split instant. "My love," he shouted passionately, "had I known you were always this beautiful, I would have never slept. I would have never bothered to stare at anything but you. Every color you send out to the sky is like peering into a soul. Only you, my love, could be so breathtaking." Her light pulsated in time with her beating heart. To be so revered by him was a feeling she felt could not be bested. Through the rest of the day he spoke sweet words of her beauty, personifying her light and smile into mystifying illustrations of serenity and harmony. She felt more loved like never before and beamed in happiness. She soon crept quite close to the other edge of the sky, but he paid near no attention. Every second she hung in the sky was a moment that he was captivated by her light. She fixed her hair and looked into her reflection. The clouds mirrored back to her. He laughed up at her. "Oh love, you're so perfect. You have nothing to fix." She laughed and gave him a warm kiss. He sighed, content. "My dear, I do not want to go tonight. I so wish to stay and watch the stars with you." He again laughed, for he never did otherwise around her. "If you stayed to watch the stars, I would only watch you. The stars pale in comparison to you." She sighed happily at his words, truthfully never sure of what to say when he spoke thus way. He always left her with a serene feeling with no words to describe it. "It's strange, my love. At this moment, as you are the closest to the edge that you can be, you have truly never seemed this beautiful." She smiled for him one last time before finally the horizon shrouded him in moonlight, and he disappeared from her sight. She spent the night restless, like all the rest. Sleeping felt like such an eternity. An eternity not spent with her dear. When she finally climbed over the horizon line in the morning, his familiar words of greeting did not meet her. She searched for him and finally found his body. Her heart stopped, and the word felt cold in a second. His body skimmed along the surface of a lake, his eyes stuck wide open, and his head staring to the sky. She screamed and cried for him, calling for his soul which she used to keep as her own. She bore the coat once more, not wanting anyone that was not her dear to see her in all her beauty. As she moved to finally look away from his body, a bird caught her attention at the shore of the lake. "Oh little bird, please, I must know if you've seen why my dear has died. I regret ever setting. If I was only there for him." The bird whistled. "Yes, I'm sure he wanted that as well. Shortly after you left the sky last night, he started to weep for you and your beauty. He cried so loud it's a wonder any of this forest got to sleep. As for his death, I've been told he could bear not a minute of your absence. He had no patience for the night's end and the pain was so strong that the only relief he could find was that of death. So, he drowned himself." She could not help but cry at that bird's every word. Every ray of her light ached as they touched the ground. She remembered back to his words, asking if her beauty is just so great that it's blinding. She decided she never wanted to be loved as much as he did again. She let her light blind and sting the eyes of those who wished to stare at her too long, never allowing the chance for someone to see the same beauty as him, or to grow to love her the same. In the early mornings and before the night is when her mind wanders back to that one which she loved so. It's the only time her garden coat slips. The only times that one may see her for all her true beauty.